to A Pinch of Basil. I am your wonderful host, Basil, Rosemary and Herb's son, broadcasting live on this wonderful, this wonderful, intricate little thing we call the internet, and then all around the world. And I am here with my wonderful co-host, Janice Hermson. And Janice, how are you?
I am well.
Beautiful.
I'm so glad.
And not only do we have Janice, but I have my chief engineer, Christian Meyer, who we could not do this show without. There is no two ways about it. If you left me in it, I would have electrocuted myself. So anyway, don't forget, we do live stream on Facebook. That's right. Go to Basile Fans, Basile Fans, Basile Fans on Facebook. We're doing it live right now. As a matter of fact, you can see it. Can you not, Janice?
I can see it. I can see you in your beautiful light blue shirt.
Thank you very much. And then you can also listen on the TuneIn app or on any phone or device. Once you have the app, just search America Matters. If you're not on a computer, go to americamatters.us. And don't forget, folks, if you're over in the UK through London, you can hear me on Greek Beat Radio.
Greek Beat Radio.
Could we use a longer thing? Possibly?
I like that one.
Just like to keep you on your toes.
That's a good one, Basil.
I love my Greek Beat Radio. And for all the people all the way around the world throughout Europe listening through Greek Beat Radio and following us on Facebook, and all of that includes South Africa. That includes all of Australia. That includes everywhere in North America. That includes Canada, United States, even Mexico, for those Mexican Greeks. Hola, opa. Okay, so anyway, you're listening to us, and if you have any questions, you can also give us a call at 844-790-8255. You can also text us, and Janice, what is that text number?
That would be 775-237-2266, and Sarah is on with us. She logged in.
Hey, Sarah, how you doing, sweetheart? I hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining us. And for all those who are listening right now throughout the world, thank you for joining us. I really mean that. Listen, I know y'all are bored as hell. I really do. Oh. You're sitting at home. Go ahead, James.
No, I was going to say that Sarah said that they're locked down, too. They went on lockdown tonight at 6 p.m.
Wow. Where is she from?
Let's see.
Let's ask her,
where are you from, Sarah? Well, I thought I could find it quickly. Can I tell you?
No. Listen, everyone's on lockdown, folks. But what?
No, not everyone, but lots.
Well, most of the world is on lockdown. Okay, everyone. The streets are empty, and that's cool. And I know you want to be entertained, and you should be entertained by the.
That's why we're here.
Me. That's right. Basil.
Yes.
I am here going to entertain all of you as much as I possibly can. And folks, listen, we have a wonderful, because a lot of people are listening. I've been listening to old stuff from the 80s and 90s. I've been going back even from when I was a little kid in the 70s. Listen to some of that stuff. Unbelievable. But you got to stick around, especially if you love music. I got a special guest today. I'm not going to sing. Trust me. You don't want to hear my voice.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I know. Hard to believe. Thank you. But we do have an awesome guest and a personal friend of mine. Miss Maria Jacobs will be here. She is a fantastic jazz vocalist. She has her CDs all over, up and down the place. We'll be talking with her at the bottom of the hour from 6:30 to 7. You can always catch us, folks. Don't forget, New York City time. It's Eastern time here in the United States. From 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., you can always catch us. And then, listen, don't forget, I started something. Janice, I don't know if you got a chance to watch any of it, but at a Friday, Basile Fun Hour
at 9 o'clock. I did, yes.
What did you think of that?
You were entertaining. Your daughter singing "Row, Row, Row Your Boat" was a real classic. That's all I can say.
It brings an actual tear to my eye because we spent thousands of dollars trying to teach her how to sing. And
absolutely. But the guitar playing was awesome.
Guitar playing was unbelievable. And then my good friend Manny Meliodas, who was there with his puppet Tasso, who probably got more kudos than I did, for God's sakes. Tasso, I'm going to have to kill him off of the show. If you know what I'm saying? I'm the star of this show, of the Basile Fun Hour. Again, 9 o'clock. We'll be doing that Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you catch us for that. And it'll help you get rid of some of the blues. Look, we screw around. I also have my brother-in-law, Big John Poulos, JJ. We had 9 people. 9 people. That's what all we were allowed to have. And it was a lot of fun doing that. And listen, I also want to announce today's a great book that it's going to be coming out. What Deepest is it?
What Deepest Remains. That's
the journey home.
Right.
It's just unbelievable, by Joseph Andrews Halsworth. And I got to tell you, it's a beautiful story. Tell them a little bit about this.
Well, this is about a veteran. It's an autobiographical narrative, and it follows this young but seasoned veteran from his last mission in Iraq to his return and readjustment to his home. Really covers a lot about PTSD and how, so many of the veterans struggle. And it is based on Joseph's life, so pretty true story, but he takes a lot of liberties. So that's why it's considered a novel, and it is fiction. And
you know what? Listen, go grab it.
Yeah,
great book.
Please do pick it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we do have J.A. Koninis, and I'm sorry if I didn't spell or pronounce your name wrong. They Delaware, lockdown at 8 a.m. So there you go.
Wow.
More.
Lockdown in Delaware. Listen, folks, I feel your pain. I really do. But we're all in this together. Not one person has it better than you. So stay home. Listen, I know my wife has probably found ways to, accidentally kill me, and I don't blame her, but I'll tell you what, we're having fun, we're eating well, and it's been a great time so far. And Janice, I hope you and your family are doing well as well as Christian's family as well. But folks, listen, before we go any further, we're going to read back in just a few moments. We got to do that little sponsor thing. So stick around. You are listening to A Pinch of Basile with your host, Basile.
To join the conversation, call 844-790-TALK. That's 844-790-8255. Now, back to the show.
Oh, we are indeed back. You are listening to Basile all around the world. Australia, South Africa, all throughout Europe, through the UK. That's listening also with an FM channel as well on Greek Beat Radio.
Greek Beat Radio.
I just love that voice of hers. It's just that English accent. It just drives
awesome,
me crazy.
isn't it?
I love the tenderonis because we got a great tenderoni coming on at the bottom of the hour. Miss Maria Jacobs will be with us. Who, I was attracted to her voice back in the day when she used to do the actual traffic report on a chopper for a station called WMMS in Cleveland, home of the Buzzard, which is one of the stations I really got started with in radio, believe it or not, doing voice work and all the type of stuff that they asked me to do and characters and whatnot. But listen, we're going to have Maria Jacobs coming up at the bottom of the hour and for the second half. But I got to tell you, a couple of things before we even get started. I want to thank again. You don't get enough thank yous from around the country and for those around the world. And that's all the 911 dispatchers, all the fire departments, all the police departments, emergency medical services from A to Z. Talking doctors.
And now also the National Guard, because the National Guard.
God bless our National Guard. Absolutely.
Dispatched.
The National Guard, all of our federal law enforcement. And again, like you said, the National Guard, God bless them, because these people are pulled out from their homes. That's what the National Guard was all about. And they are basically our military, our civilian military that comes to action when there's emergencies like this, and no one has ever seen anything like this. This is completely new, folks. So listen, give them a lot of credit, and don't be an idiot. Don't go out there and say, well, I can do whatever I want. Listen.
Well, and we have to say, don't be like Ted, who's been on lockdown since 2 weeks ago, and he was pulled over for DUI going from his living room to his kitchen. Yeah,
I think Ted has a drinking problem. Just saying.
Well, but he got pulled over by his wife, so what can you say?
Yeah, and that's even worse because the cavity searches hurt. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, because you have an issue in your relationship when there's a cavity search involved, going from your living room to your kitchen for a DWI. That's a tough woman right there.
There you have it. That's right.
We have, besides the thank yous, because there are things that you can do that you can have some fun with and whatnot. But Janice was kind enough to actually send me some, because this is going to be a musical array of talent that we're going to have tonight. Listen, with Maria Jacobs, who, like I said, is not only a personal good friend, but she is an extremely unbelievable talent. And her craziness is gone. I mean, I love when she comes to my shows, and she comes every time I'm in town playing Northeast Ohio, maybe Youngstown, Akron, Cleveland, wherever I play up there. So, Maria, I love her. But let's go over some of the band names, because I also have some friends of mine. Ray Beeble. Ray is in a big band up in Cleveland, Ohio. And you know what? I forgot the name of the band. Oh, my God.
Well, he joined us, Ray. If you're listening still, give us the name of your band so we can talk about that.
Absolutely, and give you guys a plug as well. Band's fantastic. But let's talk about some of these band names. I want you to start this off, because I want to see what you think about this.
Start that off, don't you? Because I don't have it in front of me. That's why.
Not a problem.
So maybe you need to do the first one, then let me pull that up.
Not a problem. NME.
Oh, that's right. I love that one. NME. Enemy.
Yeah. Enemy.
Yeah.
You see how they did that?
See how they did that? Aren't they sharp?
Oh, my God. This pioneering punk metal band from Seattle was one of the first extreme metal bands in the U.S., not just because of their music, but frontman Kurt Strubing was convicted of murder in '86 when he chopped his own mother into pieces with a hatchet.
Yeah,
I mean, talk about Lizzie Borden rebirth.
Oh, my.
I mean, when he was released, he simply got the band back together. He committed suicide in 2005. Now, I got to be honest with you. First of all, I have to question the band who would say, all right, look, let's bring him back. I mean, all right, so he chopped his mom.
Let's do this. Yeah, who cares, right?
Let's just let bygones be bygones and do something.
Wow.
So maybe we can turn his life around. No.
And Ray Beeble says it's the Jam Machine.
The Jam Machine.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
How about
and
that?
Ray said I can sing with the band.
Oh,
when I
Ray,
come back.
what's wrong with you?
Really? Really? Thank you. I love you too, Janice.
Excellent!
Really?
Well done.
I have a great voice.
Okay.
Just saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll buy that if you want to sell it. That's fine.
Yeah. You heard me sing before.
I did.
Yeah, I did. No one sings Disney tunes like me.
Oh, that's right.
Zolar X. Zolar X. Lots of bands claim to be from outer space.
Yes.
Yes, but Zolar X might have been the most convincing, arriving in that hazy mid-70s netherworld between glam and punk. Not only did Zolar X dress like their silver-suited, antenna-headed space surfers, they talked in their own alien language.
I love that.
Nanu, nanu. They delighted and confounded Hollywood until they vanished in a puff of green smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1981. Yeah. There you go.
And they actually played at my wedding.
Yeah, sure. We buy that.
Yeah, of course.
Yep.
Anyway, when you puff up in the green smoke, that's some serious stuff that you're smoking. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hatebeak. Have you ever heard of them?
Only today.
Hatebeak. There's one for all those who don't think.
And I'm not a fan of birds, so I probably wouldn't have gone.
And actually, I love, I used to tell my daughter all these fictitious names. And she goes, oh, my God, Dad, that's a great song. What is that? I would say, oh, that's Mr. T and the Steak Bones. So they would hear the song. in pub with a bunch of friends, and goes, "What band? That's by this band." And I said, "No, my dad said it's Mr. T and the Steak Bones, and if my dad says it, it's got to be true." Well, kid got a lot of enemies real quick. Yes, this is a death metal band because Hatebeak are fronted by Waldo, and he's a Congo African gray parrot. It certainly has.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
this is crazy. Continue on though, because this is kind of funny at the end.
Okay, the all sports band, sound engineer Tracy Coates of Frampton Comes Alive, Kiss Alive, and 1 and 2 came up with a genius.
Oh no! You didn't talk about the fact that they never toured. They released 4 albums, but they never toured.
Wait a minute, it doesn't say this.
Yeah, you skipped a page.
The sound engineer Tracy Coates. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, you skipped
Are we talking
a page.
the all sports band?
No, we're talking about Hatebeak.
Oh, I was a Hatebeak. Lyricism and depths of the daft nature of the exercise. It only works if they've released 4 albums to date, but sadly never toured.
Yeah, they didn't tour.
Who the hell bought their albums?
God only knows.
I'm just asking people if you have a Hatebeak actual CD, play it for us.
Yeah,
show us that you have it. I'd love to see what the album covers were like. All sports band, sound engineer Tracy Coates from Frampton Comes Alive, Kiss Alive 1 and 2 came up with a genius crackpot idea of a hereto sports-based village people. The result was an all sports band which featured boxing drummer, a football and baseball player on guitar and bass, a race car driver on keyboards, and a karate kicking singer. What could go wrong? Well, first of all, wasn't David Lee Roth a karate kicking singer?
I don't know.
He sure was.
Christian, wasn't he? He would do all those crazy kicks. He also did a lot of drugs. I'm just saying. Okay. The Ladybirds. There were a few girl bands. You know who is my favorite? I love the Go-Go's. I thought the Go-Go's were great. You know who the Go-Go's are?
I do not. Do you?
Annis, what the hell? Don't you get out?
Didn't they do We've Got the Beat?
Yeah, we got the beat. We got the everybody. We got the beat.
Okay,
Mike, you never. Why am I even throwing this to you? I don't even know why. Okay,
that's why I threw it to Christian because he was shaking his head. He knew.
Yeah, Teddy. How about the Teddy Bears? Do you remember the Teddy Bears?
Sure.
Born in Stockholm in 1991, Teddy Bears. Signal. What was that? Signal caller. Signal called them. Other lessons.
Would you like me to read?
Yeah, read the damn thing. I'm having trouble.
I can see that. Formed in Stockholm in 1991, the Teddy Bears signaled their otherness with their very name.
Well, there you go. You're using words like otherness.
A concerted,
I thought it was a typo, for God's sake.
It probably is. A concerted rebellion against Sweden's prevailing death metal scene cliches. This quirkily abstruse.
Quirkily?
Otherness
and quirkily?
Else. Hardcore cult built a subsequent career mangling and splicing a wide array of hip sounds and styles, duetting with Nina Cherry, remixing the Bee Gees, and wangling Intel commercials, whilst wearing massive bear heads. Now, can you picture that? Whilst, first of all. It's not a word I use very often. Not in my vocabulary.
Looking at me like you're looking at me like I'm the idiot. You know, I had it with you too. I'm just saying. There's also, let me see, Compresso Head.
Gotta go, my friend.
Oh, we got to do that thing. Yeah, God. You know, I hate when we got to do the sponsor thing, but we do. We're going to be right back after these messages, and we're going to bring back one of my favorite people, Maria Jacobs, after these messages. You're listening to A Pinch of Basile.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
Are you shy and don't want to talk on the air? Text us your questions or comments to 775-237-2266. Now back to the show.
We are indeed back with A Pinch of Basile. I am your hostess with the mostest. I am Basil. Some people know me as Basilina. which is fine. That's my other name when I dress up in women's clothing, but that's for another time. Okay. Right now, folks, before we go any further, listen, I want to do this quick bio because Maria Jacobs is going to be with us right here in a second. Maria Jacobs is an American-born national recording artist and author of Syrian, Lebanese, and American descent. She is the adjunct professor of applied vocal jazz at Kent State University and Kent State Stark campus. She is a licensed music educator who holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in journalism from the Ohio State University and the music education degree with a minor in education from Kent State University, where she graduated cum laude. Maria is a principal conductor and is a curriculum advisor for the Open Tone Music Academy. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And Maria is, which is a nonprofit organization and who is now partnered with Jazz at Lincoln Center. Her music has changed the national groove, jazz, and smooth music holiday charts. And I've heard her on there before because I'm a smooth jazz guy. Both jazz vocalist and singer-songwriter Maria has written and recorded with platinum-selling and Grammy Award-winning producers Tommy Coster and Pete Tokar. She has soloed with the Cleveland Orchestra, yay team, nationally acclaimed Jazz Heritage Orchestra, and the music director Damian Sneed of Wynton Marsalis's Abyssinian. Is it Abyssinian Mass? Is that the correct?
Abyssinian, yeah.
Abyssinian Mass. She is royalty. She is a royalty-earning member of ASCAP and self-produced and released, oh my God, 8 studio albums. Jesus. And she has written over 100 songs. Maria's music can be heard all over the digital platforms and on her own personal website at mariajacobs.com. She can also be found on IMDb, is an actress and a theme song composer for the film television show So This Is Love. Ladies and gentlemen, my good friend and wonderful, talented jazz singer, Maria Jacobs. Maria, welcome to the show, baby.
My goodness, that was nice. Hi.
How you doing?
I'm great.
Oh, my God.
This is nice. I'm in the comfort of my own little office, my purple walls, as you can see.
I love the purple walls. Very soothing. As you can see, I have a packing blanket behind me. And it's, it's my type of thing because, I believe in that early American disaster motif that I always recommend to people, whatever there are homeless looking at this going, bam. I wish I had that. So anyway.
Well, if you have to pack up and run anytime soon, you got a packing blanket.
Right there. You know what I'm saying? It's right there. What else can I tell you? This is the life I lead. But thanks so much for joining me, sweetheart.
I'm honored.
I've known you, is it over 20 years?
Yeah. Going on 30, I think 1995 or 94 is when we met at WMMS.
Wow. Maria was actually doing the traffic report at MMS. And for those people who don't know, WMMS was the radio station back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, all the way up until probably the late 2000s. And they actually came up with the zoo concept with Jeff and Flash. And we were doing so many things. I was a voice guy, and I kind of got my comedy start from there as well when I met Jeff and Flash. And Maria, I saw this gorgeous looking babe. I said, oh, my God, what a tenderone.
Oh, send your nasty emails to Basile at...
Hey, I'm sorry. Say what you want. This tenderoni come dark hair, dark eyes, my kind of woman. I'm like, oh, my God, she is beautiful. And what I loved even more was her personality, and she was so friendly and outgoing. And I just, it's so cool. Every time I see you now, I see you at my shows. You come with your husband. And it's so cool. And how long you guys been married now?
So we've been married about 5.5 years, and we've been partners for 12. Actually, I met Jerry. I came home to Cleveland from LA for about 5 months, and I was staying with my parents. And I thought, well, this is tough. So I kind of relieved some of that anxiety. I went out for a play, and he was in the play, and I was in the play, and we met, and little by little, we started dating, and 12 years later, he still thinks of me as his partner.
Wow.
Well, that's good,
nice.
isn't it?
That's very nice. What a romantic story. It brings a tear to my eye every time I hear it. I really do. Oh my God. Hey, a couple of questions, because now you're this adjunct professor over at Kent. I mean, I know you have no problem in front of the mic. I mean, hell, this is the way we make our living, right? So, but what's it like to actually teach these kids, the way you do? I mean, that's got to be really a different type of vibe for you altogether.
It is, because it's highly concentrated on the kind of music that is my forte. I do a lot of different styles, but this is applied vocal jazz. I mean, we do some contemporary. I've got a lot of musical theater students who wanted to work with me for vocal pedagogy, vocal technique kind of things, how they use their chops on stage and staying vocally healthy. But, I'm licensed, so I was teaching pre-K through 8th grade for a couple of years, and then I taught high school, and it was great. But this is just highly concentrated in the area of my specialty. So it's great. And my studio has grown. Last fall was my first semester, and I think I had 5 half-hour students and 1 ensemble that I co-taught with my mentor, my friend, Dr. Chris Van Essel. Now I have my own group. I co-direct that, and there's 21 students. So
wow.
It's grown exponentially every single semester. And I never get tired of it. I sit at the piano, I play, I sing, I give my input on how to approach jazz music. And I just, it's not like going to work every day.
Yeah. And
if I could interrupt for 1 second,
sure.
Ray Beeble says he remembers Maria. So hello, Maria. And then
what's that?
Ray Beeble.
Ray Beeble.
Ray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And then George Pastis.
Yeah, George.
Oh, I know him.
Hello, Maria. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. So there you go.
Hi, Georgie. Thank you.
There you go. So proceed.
Yeah, George thought that you were a tenderoni too. I mean, we both have the same taste in women, and George's like,
yeah. What am I going to do with you?
Oh, shush!
I'm loving that. George was one of the managers at Chi-Chi's restaurant when I was a waitress. That's where we met. And before we became buds, before we realized that you were like a mutual, friend and family member, man, he used to ride my, can I say ass online?
Yeah, because we're talking about a donkey. Yeah.
Okay. He rode my ass left and right. And I know he's listening because, I was really skinny back then. That was over 30 years ago. I couldn't stop eating on the job. They had that big tub of chili,
guacamole,
whatever. Yeah. So every time I was off the floor waiting tables, I was in the kitchen eating that stuff, and he just used to ride my ass all day long.
Yeah, you got. I'll tell you, because I love guacamole. I used to freebase guacamole, and I got to be honest with you, it is the best thing since sliced bread. And I like the fresh made guacamole, not this canned stuff. Oh my God. So every time I would see, because George's nickname is Lead Bottom, so I go, "Hey, Lead, you have any guac for me?" Yeah, I'll get you some guac. Because I love Chi-Chi's too. So there's no two ways about it. But you know what? We were kind of, and I know you got to be happy that life is doing great for you right now. But you wrote a book.
I did. There's that old jazz standard. If they asked me, I could write a book. So I sang it so much that I finally did.
Good for you. Tell us about it.
Yeah, well, the book, it's a little bit of a heavy topic, but there's a lot of light in it as well. So it's called Grateful, Faith, Healing, and the Gift of Music. That's my working title. If my literary agent ever gets it to a publisher, they could change the title. So between you and me, that's the title that I want to name the book. So it's about my entire adult life, beginning shortly before I met you in radio. I struggled my whole adult life with bipolar disorder, and I'm living in remission today thanks to, God, my music, my family. And the book is about, starts with all the struggles and all the trials, and it kind of evolves like a memoir discussing how I got on the road to health, and I wrote that book today, living in remission and being really incredibly grateful. So I thought I should tell the story of how God saved my life. So
good for you.
That's the book.
Honey, that's great. And as a matter of fact, I got to turn you on to Janice. because I'm sure she would love to talk to you about it. Janice has a wonderful show that she hosts as well with different authors and stuff like that. So we got to make sure we hook you guys up together. Listen, I am not gonna play your segment of the song. Christian, is that okay? We're gonna play it next segment.
That works.
Okay, we're gonna play it next segment because I want to make sure that everyone hears all your music and everything that you do. I can't believe you have done 8 albums. And to me, that's just amazing. Yeah, 100 songs, 8 albums. God bless you, big girl. And we'll talk about Los Angeles and, and moving back home, especially living with your parents. What a dream come true that must have been for you. So, we'll discuss that a little bit as well. And the thing is, it's got to be a treat, though, coming back to Northeast Ohio. I finished up my education in Northeast Ohio. It just a wonderful place to live. Oh my God, Cleveland. Yeah, Cleveland rocks. It will always rock. Yeah. And it's because of people like Maria Jacobs and a lot of my fans and followers that I have. I love that Cleveland area. But folks, we're going to be right back talking more with Maria Jacobs, my good friend, sweetheart, tenderoni a la carte. She's unbelievable. And we're going to be back after a few of these messages. So stay tuned. You are indeed listening to A Pinch of Basil, Rosemary and Herb Son. We'll be back after these little wonderful messages that pay the bills.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
And so glad you can make it back to hear that. Maria, that was fantastic. That's Maria Jacobs, ladies and gentlemen. You can go to her website at mariajacobs.com. Listen, your voice is silky smooth, and I just love it. If that doesn't want to make you get up, people who are driving right now, because people are actually hearing this while they're driving all over the world, in Australia, all throughout Europe, in North America. So if they're listening to this through all of our outlets that we have, go and get her albums. And matter of fact, Maria, before we go any further, where can people get all of your albums?
So, I've got a great distributor, and I'm in every digital platform, and every one that you know of, and I Google myself sometimes, and I find myself in places I've never heard of, but, I'm on Spotify, and iHeartRadio, and Pandora, and YouTube, and iTunes, Amazon. I'm on all of them, which is great, and go out to YouTube and listen for free, or Spotify, and join my playlist and my YouTube channel. It's everywhere. And some terrestrial radio, which is good.
Well, I'll tell you what. Look, I sing as well. I don't have your voice, of course. I'm a baritone, and you can buy 10 baritones for a nickel. But the thing is, you have a special gift that I love. That's a song you can slow dance to. How you people did not groove in your car and stuff like that. I was grooving here by myself. That's great music.
I have to give a shout out, though. One of my dearest friends in the world wrote that song. His name is Alan Licht, and his material is also all over the world. He uses a lot of brilliant singers on his songs. So, I'm a songwriter, and I record my own material predominantly. So, to have a friend and be able to sing his stuff, he's got to be good, honestly.
No, not too bad at all. Not too bad. We may have to talk, because the thing about my character in the TV show Basile is he always falls for the wrong woman. And he always gets his heart broken all the time. And I like to be able to finish with some type of a song that I break into, because a lot of people know me because I sing for the Disney stuff that I wind up doing the choruses and stuff. So I want to be able to bring you on there with it, with some of your music, which is just fantastic. Yeah. Hey, let me ask you a question. You lived in Los Angeles for a bunch of years.
12.
12 years. Wow. Yeah. Wow. And
wow.
I'm sure it did wonders for your career, but tell me, what did you think about LA?
When I started off in LA, I moved out there in 1997, and I had a sales job. When I moved out there, I interviewed for this job remotely, and I got hired basically over the phone. Big company. It was a telephone carrier kind of company, and they paid you. They had faith in you. They gave you your first full commission. Before I even moved out there, I had $2,000 to move with.
Wow.
Because I hadn't done anything for them yet. Anyway, they were a new company, so they were spending money. They were paying people. And it was great because I didn't have to scrounge. My first few years there, I was working, and I had a stressful cold calling sale. I mean, I used to cold call in Compton, right, up and down the streets of Compton, looking for little tiny office parks that had 20 telephone lines, right? So that we could say, well, you should come over to XYZ company instead of Pac Bell or GTE. So literally me and this really tall runway model, blonde, long legs for days, and me, we're walking around in our short suits and our hair up and our heels, walking down the streets of Compton, right? That was
That's
one of my
frightening.
That was one of my first sales territories, right? So that was the downside, right? But the good part was that I made pretty good money, and so I went out there and I did great for the first couple of years. Honestly, fast forward to 2001, I was working for the Hertz Corporation, also making great money. It wasn't cold calling though; it was account maintenance. So I managed about $100,000 of corporate travel until September 11th hit.
Yeah.
And many of us corporate travel, there wasn't any anymore. So I lost my job through no fault of my own. And now from there on, I should have moved home in 2001 because from that point on until I officially left in 2009 was a hell on wheels. My health wasn't good. I was having a hard time holding down jobs. I was getting fired left and right. I mean, it was a nightmare. And I managed to have a few little musical oases. Is that a word?
Sure. Yeah, oasis. What? Whilst. There's words that I didn't even know that existed. It was whilst. So why not oases? Why not?
All right. I'll make it up. I'm a writer. I can make up any word I want. So I had some really beautiful musical windfalls that happened along the way, and that was great. So I don't really regret that I stayed there. There was a lot that went in to my music career that came out of it. Sadness, stress, all of that kind of stuff, all ended up finding a way into one song that I wrote or another. So, you can't be regretful about those kinds of things. But it was a struggle. Right. 2001 until I left. In 2009, it was a lot of...
crazy 8 years.
It was up and down. Crazy, yeah.
And sometimes you don't really get the chance to really see the success that you had until you take a look and say, well, I wrote this, I did that, whatever. But sometimes you're like, I wish I would have come home. Listen, we all have regrets. We all have regrets. Yeah. It was kind of funny when I first got married, I left Cleveland and New York, and I left because, we traveled so much as comedians. You go from point A to point B to point C. And here I was stationed in Wilmington, North Carolina, which really I was like, oh, there goes my career. I did it for love, right? So you're like, okay. You wind up and all of a sudden you realize, wait a minute, I'm between Washington and Jacksonville, Florida, and I'm near Atlanta. I'm here, there, and I started just my horizons just exploded. I mean, just so many opportunities were available to me. Yeah. So it worked out great. Hey, what's next? What's coming up musically speaking?
My investor who backed me on a national radio promotion and my seventh record, the one that I just sent to you, he comes to me recently and he says, I think you should do a contemporary jazz tune. I've been listening a lot to Esperanza Spalding. Can you write something like that? And I'm thinking, if I could write like Esperanza Spalding,
you got something.
That would really be something. Yeah, well, I love her. Anyway, I got the idea of what he wanted, so I kind of dusted off an old tune of mine that I wrote, and I revamped it in more of a contemporary jazz style. So it's called Pale Moon, Blue Sky. And I wrote the music and the lyrics, and I arranged it for a jazz trio, piano, bass, and drums. And I wrote a horn line, and I went to a trombone player friend of mine who's an arranger, and I said, can you kind of write some more horn parts around this? And he did. So we've recorded the rhythm section and the horn section and most of my vocals. And I have to go in there and kind of do some background vocals and things. But that's next. It's going to be a single. I hope to go national. And, yeah.
Well, Maria, listen, we got a hard cut on this, and So I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Maria Jacobs, who's been on our show. Reminders, don't forget to listen every week on Tuesdays from 6 to 7 New York City time. We can be heard all around the world on americamatters.us. If you're using the TuneIn app, just search America Matters. Listen, you are listening. Go to Instagram, all that stuff, by the way. You're listening with Pinch of Basile. We'll see you next week.